Hello, you chose to watch this video because you were seeking something daring, am I right? Rest assured, you have arrived at the correct destination. Immediate action. No prolonging the inevitable. This tale delivers all that you sought after. If you frequent this space, be sure to show your support by liking and subscribing. Welcome to the channel if you're just joining us. I trust you will find it enjoyable. Let us commence. His breath caressed my neck as he leaned closer, whispering, "Does your husband ever make you feel like this?" I hesitated before responding. I was unable to. My palms rested against the cool granite of the sink, its surface anchoring me as his hands gripped my hips, a silent acknowledgement of the truth between us. I swallowed hard, then forced out a breathless smirk. "Is your wife agreeable to this with you?" I retorted, leaning closer, allowing my body to convey the response. He emitted a noise that straddled the line between a chuckle and a snarl. "Your response is still awaited." I found it unnecessary. My body had already experienced. The intensity that enveloped us transcended mere physicality. It was a thrill born of defiance, a spark ignited by the awareness of our transgressions, a shared understanding that we were far from ready to halt our reckless dance. My heart raced with each passing second, as if it could feel the borrowed nature of the moment, as if it understood we were mere seconds from the brink of something shattering. Without a moment's hesitation, I extended my hand toward him. He grasped my wrists, more assured than my husband ever had, and pressed them firmly against the counter. A surge coursed through me, a sensation I hadn't experienced in years, neither within the confines of my home nor in the comfort of my own bed. Once more, Ethan's lips brushed against my ear. There's a certain charm in her oblivion. That name danced through my thoughts, a flickering beacon of caution. Her visage, her tone, the companion who placed their faith in me. Yet, his fingers glided downward, measured and intentional, siphoning the breath from my lungs, and the thought vanished. I pressed my teeth into my lip with a fierce intensity. The pace intensified, becoming less deliberate and more pressing, as if we both sensed the fleeting nature of our time. The atmosphere thickened, the kitchen resonating with the clamor of swift activity and an undercurrent of unease. "Ethan." He shifted once more, both intentional and abrupt, and I clutched the counter as my breath was ensnared in his grasp. That was the action Ethan took on my behalf, something my husband was unable to accomplish. All else dissolved into the background. He occupied the void that my husband was never able to fill. I had vanished, enveloped in the silence of movement and the heaviness of his presence trailing behind me, until I dared to glance upward. "Celine." She stood in the doorway, arms crossed, observing us with an unwavering gaze. Yet we found ourselves unable to halt. I found myself paralyzed, yet Ethan remained unfazed. The moment my eyes fell upon her, an urgent voice within me cried out to halt. I hesitated, caught in a moment where action clashed with desire. His presence remained steady, waiting for me to decide. His arms tightened around my waist, securing me in place as if he anticipated my panic, as though he was prepared for it. "Wait," I gasped, the sound escaping my lips as a fractured whisper, a blend of breath and desperate entreaty. He maintained his pace. He pulled me back with an intensity that sent my hands crashing against the counter. The words I intended to express slipped away, overshadowed by his presence looming behind me. He pressed on, unwavering and unyielding, while my body faltered without hesitation. She remained, arms crossed. I anticipated a cacophony of screams, a tempest of fury, anything at all. Instead, she tilted her head and placed her purse on the table, as if she had just returned from a long day at work. She removed her coat, carefully laid it over the back of a chair, and settled into her seat. Her gaze remained fixed upon me. "You two appear to be enjoying yourselves," she remarked, her tone airy, tinged with a hint of amusement. I parted my lips, yet silence enveloped me. My pulse reverberated through every part of me, my neck, my chest, my stomach. I remained entranced by the momentum he generated, ensnared in his hold, acutely conscious of each movement, every sound, and the weight of her gaze upon us with every passing second. Without a moment's pause, Ethan acted. Indeed, he exhaled softly behind me, a grin spreading across his face. "She is truly remarkable." Then he advanced with a newfound determination, as if he sought to validate his purpose. A sound escaped my lips, elusive and ungraspable in the moment. My knees gave way beneath me. Celine wore a smile. My thoughts swirled in a chaotic haze. I attempted to gaze upon her, to decipher her expression, yet all I could sense was the relentless way he pressed against me, unwavering and all-consuming. I found myself captivated, observing as neither of them appeared to be in any rush. Celine crossed her legs with a deliberate slowness, as if preparing to immerse herself in the moment. She leaned in, unzipped her purse, and retrieved her phone. She held it to her ear, angling her body just enough to create a subtle distance, yet remaining partially engaged. "Wonderful news," she remarked, her tone bright and relaxed. "Indeed, the moment has finally arrived." I was unaware of the identity of her conversation partner. My mind was a tangled mess, unable to focus or find clarity. I found myself leaning against the counter, my breath hitching with each subtle shift of pressure, operating on autopilot as my mind struggled to grasp any semblance of clarity. With a decisive motion, she concluded the call, tucked the phone away into her purse, and rose to her feet. She began to remove her clothing, her gaze intertwined with mine, a firm connection that held steady as she gradually peeled her shirt away from her body, followed by the gentle descent of her skirt. "Take your time, there's no need for embarrassment." She released it and moved ahead, her eyes locking onto mine with an unspoken intimacy, deliberate, quiet, and unadorned. I found myself perplexed. My mind struggled to keep pace. She moved to undress, approaching us, while I remained motionless, caught in a state of perpetual shifting, held firmly in place. Then Ethan came to a halt. The last reverberation of movement left my back taut and strained. In that moment, all was suspended in a profound silence. Silence reigns, devoid of sound or movement. A profound stillness envelopes the air. His hands rested on my hips, his breath lingering at my neck, poised in anticipation. He remained close. He simply kept me there, poised in anticipation of her arrival. Celine made contact with me. She stood before me, serene and composed. Her fingers grazed my chin, then gently elevated it with a deliberate slowness. Words failed me. She drew closer and pressed her lips against mine. The meaning of the kiss eluded me. A profound stillness enveloped me, and I realized I was utterly unable to stir. Celine withdrew gradually, her lips lingering near mine, our eyes entwined in an unbroken gaze. Her fingers grazed my jaw, more delicate than one might expect, and her hand glided down until it intertwined with mine. Silence enveloped her. I have just followed. My legs trembled beneath me. My breath hitched midway in my throat. Ethan lingered behind me, quiet and close, his presence a steady rhythm in the background. Together we navigated the living room. Celine guided me to the couch, paused, and faced him. A silent exchange, merely a look. Ethan took a seat. She led me once more, this time descending into his lap. I nestled into that space, my back resting against his chest. He shifted beneath me with a familiar, unwavering assurance, his arms encircling my waist as if nothing had altered, as if we were seamlessly resuming from where we had paused. Then he shifted beneath me, slower, more deliberate, as if each movement was intended to linger in the air. Celine leaned closer, positioning herself between my knees, her eyes locked onto mine with unwavering intensity. Her lips met mine, gentle and unhurried, a kiss that spoke volumes, while her hand glided over my thighs as if to assert her presence. She moved with a deliberate calm. She remained silent. She moved in her own way and I allowed it. Then her presence descended slowly, each gesture deliberate, stirring something deep within me that I hadn't felt in a long time. Her hands remained on my skin, a constant presence, steady and warm. As she sank to her knees, I sensed the change, not merely in elevation but in warmth. Her breath lingered just above, a tantalizing whisper in the space she had yet to explore. Ethan positioned himself behind me, deliberate and calm, his hands resting on my hips, grounding me as Celine leaned in closer. Her lips danced with a languid grace, unhurried and deliberate. I inhaled sharply, a quiet gasp escaping my lips as I reached for something, anything at all. My fingers traced the contours of Ethan's wrists, my legs coiled with tension, yet her hands led them with an unwavering grace, perfectly attuned to a shared rhythm. He drew me nearer with a calm certainty. She leaned closer, and in that moment, the lines between us blurred, leaving me adrift in a haze of uncertainty. My head reclined against Ethan's shoulder, my lips parted, yet the words lingered unspoken, unfinished. With each breath she took, my chest swelled in response. Whenever I felt the precariousness of the edge looming before me, She would deftly adjust her pace, ensuring I remained steady and grounded. She was toying with me, not merely in a physical sense, but entirely. And then it engulfed me, piercing, gasping, uncontainable. My voice seized in my throat, then burst forth with a singular, piercing cry that felt utterly foreign to me. Ethan's grip around me grew more intense. Celine remained still. She simply stood by as it all surged through me, wave after wave, as if she understood it wouldn't cease immediately. At last, she rose to her feet, glided across the room, retrieved her phone from the side table, tapped the screen, and a look of satisfaction crossed her face. "I realize this may be overwhelming," she said, her voice now gentle, "and you might still be grappling with what all of this means." She slid open a nearby drawer, retrieved a piece of cloth, and approached me unadorned, composed, and utterly in command. "However, there is yet another surprise awaiting you." With a gentle touch, she secured the fabric over my eyes. All that existed faded away. "You may enter now," she beckoned. Footsteps echoed in the distance, a fresh cadence approaching with each passing moment. Then I caught another sound, a delicate clink, a subtle slide, the unmistakable noise of a belt buckle, loosening ever so slightly. A primal urge surged within me, begging for release in the form of a sharp gasp escaped me. Every part of me quivered, my breath faltering, my thoughts racing, my legs still unsteady from the recent turmoil. He remained elusive, a shadow I couldn't grasp, an event I couldn't prevent, and a stranger whose identity escaped me. Celine summoned him in. Ethan lingered just behind me, his presence a steady anchor, and silence enveloped us all. Then I perceived it, the gentle rustle of fabric, the delicate chime of a belt buckle meeting the tile, the rhythmic approach of footsteps drawing nearer. I recoiled, yet Ethan's hands remained still. They remained steadfast, anchoring me in place with their unwavering presence. I yearned to bring this to a halt, yet my body refused to comply. And then I sensed his presence drawing nearer. The stranger's breath brushed against my neck, the distance between us narrowing with an unsettling tranquility. His hands grazed my legs, gently coaxing them apart with a deliberate, assured touch. A breath caught in my throat as his body melded against mine. Without hesitation, without forewarning. It was not a question, the reality was unfolding before me, and I could no longer feign ignorance. Though I wished to remain silent, a sound slipped through my lips regardless. Untamed, unrestrained, Celine's laughter danced in the air behind me, her arms encircling my chest as if this moment had been long anticipated. He glided with a cadence that required no invitation, yet claimed all that it desired. My body reacted instinctively, before thought could even take hold. Celine pressed her lips to my cheek, her breath a gentle murmur against my ear, a cascade of words that slipped through my grasp, leaving only the warmth of their essence behind. They were utterly perplexing, and yet, in some inexplicable way, they held meaning. In that moment, everything changed. Once more, arms enveloped me, steering me onward, gently bringing me down, and I found myself uncertain of their origin. I found myself drawn to him, our bodies touching, our breaths mingling in the quiet space between us. The couch shifted subtly as he positioned himself beneath me, his hands steady at my waist, urging me to sway. I prepared myself for what was to come, yet he remained unhurried. He moved with a calm precision, as if he were already aware of the limits I would reach. Who might he be? He lay beneath me, steadfast, composed, exuding a quiet authority, and in some inexplicable way, I found myself already in motion. Not by choice, but by the force of momentum. Celine pressed her lips against mine once more, and in that moment, I understood that I had surrendered entirely. All became a haze. Warmth envelopes the skin as the air dances around, creating a palpable connection to the elements. Everything slipped through my fingers. Her hand found its way to the back of my head, applying a gentle pressure that urged me downward. I moved forward, curiosity unvoiced. Then another hold, firm and unwavering. A sensation of change washed over me as another presence harmonized with my own, seamlessly finding its rightful position. A jolt seized my breath, ripping through my chest, and my body crumpled between them. No one intervened. They flowed as one, intertwining, descending, understanding, and I found myself trapped, unable to break free even if I desired to. My mind was a fog, barely able to grasp a single thought. However, I relocated. I was surrounded, held, grounded, and overwhelmed by the weight of presence and attention, encircling me from both sides as Celine remained near, her hands gently cradling my face, her breath warm against my ear, anchoring me in every possible sense. Once more, my legs quivered with an unsettling tremor. Each beat lifted me, drawing me in, binding me to an unnamed essence I wasn't prepared to confront. I found myself suspended at the precipice, taut and ready to snap. I found myself unable to grasp the moment, my thoughts slipping away like sand through my fingers. My thoughts drifted, evaporated. What lingered was the rhythm of movement, the weight of pressure, the cadence of breath, and the relentless surge of an unstoppable force. Then the man below me stirred, elevating himself slightly. One hand supported my back, while the other rose with purpose. He removed the cloth that shrouded my vision. Radiance surged forth once more. The haze cleared, revealing familiar eyes, skin, and ultimately, a face I recognized. He gazed directly at me, a serene smile gracing his lips. "Gabriel, my beloved husband." And then he uttered his words, "Release your grip." He shifted again, deliberately, wholly with unwavering confidence. And I shattered into fragments I could no longer keep intact. Thus concludes the tale. I'm genuinely curious, did it resonate with you? Did a particular moment linger in your memory? Something that felt off? I would be eager to hear your reflections. Your insights genuinely assist me in enhancing these works. Before you embark on your next adventure, remember to show your appreciation for the video by liking it, subscribing, and activating notifications to ensure you stay updated on what's coming next. Thank you for tuning in.